Yeah. So thing is, there are two aspects of it. First is single question mark and double question mark. Now, once we talk about like, do we need to have internet connection to have to see this question mark like comments? So the answer is to see the single question mark result. You don't need an internet connection. Okay, but if in case you go for double question mark, which is actually it's nothing but searching the web. For that, you need a internet connection. Okay. Now the second aspect is packages. Okay. So in packages, to install new packages, you definitely need internet connection. Okay, otherwise it will fail. The reason is whenever you search for packages, so it searches, as I said you, it searches in the comprehensive R archive network. Okay, which is a repository somewhere in the internet. So it connects that repository and then download the packages according to your search from that repository. So for that, again, you need an internet connection. Am I clear, guys? So be very clear on this because it creates confusion at times. But I guess I have made it very clear to you. Okay, single question mark, no internet connection. For double question mark, you need internet connection. For installing packages and searching for new packages, you need internet connection. Okay, good. Yeah. So the second question which I saw was, let me have a look. Yeah. So let's start. So we didn't did plotting actually. I just wanted to show you the use of. I just wanted to show you the use of mm, how plot section of the fourth quadrant is used. Okay. Anyway, if we are using this for a question and answer session, so I'll explain it to you. See here. So how it works? You write the uh, plot name. So if I write histogram, HIST, okay. So a histogram is nothing but a XY plot of a data point, okay, some value. Now I need to provide some value. So value can be anything. If I create a vector, okay, and I create a vector and assign it a value, any value, 22, 33, 44, and something, okay, then I can plot this. Okay, but here what I did was I took a existing data set which is there in R, okay, which we'll discuss. Okay, just don't think about it, but still, let's see what it is. It is the data set name is empty cars. Okay, and why we there are this is in tabular data. This empty car is tabular data. So if you want to see the data set, just type empty cars. Okay, enter. So see, this is the data set. Okay, this is the data set. You have this car's name, Mercedes 24D, 230, 280, 280C, and you have specifications. Okay, so the specification I want, why I'm doing dollar, and then you see I do dollar and I get list of options. So this options is nothing but the specification. Rather, this option is nothing but a column value. Okay, these are different columns. So if I want to plot mpg, okay, I'll just select mpg and run the query. So this is getting plotted. That is it. So this is the way you plot. You need to put some value. Okay, so this is your x-axis mpg, and the frequency. What is if you see the details of histogram when we discussed plotting and all, so you'll find that this is nothing but a frequency, and this is the beans. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah. So the issue with R docs is nothing. This is not an issue. We were just discussing about the capability or the dependency of R on internet. Okay. So the thing which we discussed is for searching for a document. Like let's say if I want to know what is histogram. Okay. So if I do hist, HIST, and run it. So we get documents, right? So this document is nothing but which this is already installed in your system, so you don't need internet for this. Okay, but if I do double question mark, so for this you need to have an internet connection in your laptop or computer. Okay, now at the same time, if I want to install some packages, I go to packages, then I write install. Okay, and then I write ggplot. Okay, if I want to install these packages and I don't have internet, so you will get an error like are is unable to connect to CRAN. This will be the exact error which you will get. Okay, so that means you need internet for installing packages as well. That is it. Fine. So I guess we are good to start, and we'll begin from where we left yesterday. So we knew what is vector. We have seen vectors and all. We saw all vector operations. We saw integers and string vectors. Okay, now we'll go ahead and we'll see array. Okay, so array is another data type. Okay, the only difference is in array you can have, like, it's a heterogeneous thing. Okay, you can have a number as well as strings. This is one thing. Second thing is you can create multiple, you can create an array with a vector as well. Okay, this is not used as widely as vector, but yeah, still, how do we declare array? So the use first, how do we differentiate between array and list is, let's say I want to declare a array, so it will be b, and we start with array, array. Okay, so before that I'll ask you guys to have a look on the documents array. So just uh, have a quick look on the definitions. Okay, you pass on a vector as a data, it has a dimension. Okay, and dim names. So forget about it, like see the code. If you scroll down, you'll get the exact code, a few samples. See here. Okay, now how to declare it? You have array. Similarly, instead of c, you replace that with array, and you create right values. So I am done with array creation. I'll run it. What is unused argument? So if I declare this, I get this. Okay, so basically, this, what is wrong with this? I'll have to see. Okay, so in array there are two aspects. You need to give a data, okay, and then dimension. So what will be my data here? Data will basically, let's say I want to give something from 200 to 300. It will be a big array, so I'll give 200 to 210. Okay, then I need to give a dimension. So dimension, let's say I give dimension of 2. Okay, so this is nothing. Let's, I'll give a dimension of, I'll create 2 rows. Okay, 3 columns, and it will create 2 arrays. Fine. So you'll get error here, so let me create it like this. Yeah, so now if you see it, cb, so it will be like this. So what it is, what happens is, so you give a number here. Okay, whatever, this can be any series of number. You just need to make sure that it will be it will have 2 rows. Okay, so how do you differentiate it? In dimension, write like this way. Okay, so first will be your number of rows followed by dimension, columns, followed by your how many, see how many units you want. So mine is 2 units. Units. Such a declaration thing. If you start seeing here, so now we'll row, columns, and units. So try and relate it. So how many rows? I have given 2. That means, see here in my array, how many rows I'm getting? 1 and 2. Similarly, for the second array, I'm getting 1 and 2. And for how many columns? I have given 3. So that's the reason I'm getting 3 columns: 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and 2 units means like there is 1 and 2. Okay, this is how we do. Clear? So just take this, keep this example handy. Once we start implementing it, we'll take a reference from this. Okay. So now I I I'll do one thing. I'll create a one dimensional array. So it will be simple. I'll just tell you here and only. So it will be how do you create C array, and I create an array. Let's say replicate. No, if I want to create a one-dimensional array, 1 till 10, I give one dimension. Okay, so in that case, it will be a simple list, some kind of vector only. So see here, this is one dimension. Okay, so if I want to see all the value from 1 to 10, I'll give a 10 dimension. So now if I see the value of C, so it will have all the, it's kind of it will be exactly like a vector. Okay, so if you want to try more, just do some like just keep on replacing values and see how it changes, so it will be easier for you to understand. Okay, now since we know two data types now. We know list and array. There's a function in R at times when you get a code or you download a code. So it's very important to know, to understand basically what that data type is. So R has a very good feature here where it will enable you to answer like what is a data type. So let's say is dot array, sorry, is dot array, and type the name of the data types. So see the output true. What does it mean? That yeah, this object C is an array. Now if I create, I've already created, no issues. Let's say I create a vector here. Okay, vector is D, and I create 1 2 3 4 and 5. Then I enter and I check is dot array and I give D. So it will give me false. But no, this is not an array. This is something else. So now if I want to check what it is, so you can either write class D, and it'll sorry, it will you can directly write um, type of, and then D, that will give you a, not giving you a so definite, basically you will have to uh, convert it. So no issues, so like conversion we'll see. So here you will have to write as dot array to convert it to array. Okay, conversion we'll see, but this is a way you check the data type. Is this array or not? Is this vector or not? Okay, fine. Any doubts so far? Guys, any doubts so far? Then we'll, if not, then we'll start with a, okay, no issue. So we'll start with a new topic. Wait, Yeah, fine. Yeah, let me take a question if you have. Yeah, uh, yeah. So as dot array, and then you write the object name. Okay. So here, if you see as dot array, if I want to convert something into array, and that is let's see if this is convertible as dot array, and then you write the object name. I try to convert this vector into array and see what error I get. So it is converted. Okay. Now if I check what D is, so you'll get it is an array. It is no more an vector. Is dot array. I'll check and I give D. No, it's not converted. So how it will be converted? Now you create a new X object and then convert it, and then check for X. I hope it will be converted. Yeah. So see, so you can convert one item. Let's say it was a vector earlier. Okay. I tried and converted vector into a array, and that new converted vector is called X now. Now if I check X, what X is, so it is basically an array now. It's no more a vector. Yeah, if it is not displaying any output, so what to do is just clear the console. Okay, Control L, right? Type Control L, it will clear all the uh, console, and then you will be able to see the output. Guys, if in case sometime it happens, okay, that you are not able to see the output in your console. Okay, so the way around is you type Control plus L to clear the console. Okay, so once you clear the console, you might start seeing the output. If that does not work even, just close your R and restart it again. Okay, that will work. Okay, this is a very common problem. Okay, now quickly we'll see another data type. So we saw list, we saw array. Quickly we'll see vector. Okay, so what is vector? Sorry, we'll see a factor. Okay, now factor again, there are two things that is inbuilt feature of R. You'll not get it in any other programming language. That is data frame, as I said yesterday. Okay, and the second which I feel is a factor. I have not seen this in any other programming language. Okay, this is a factor. Data frame is data type, factor is again a data type. So why we use factor first of all, and in what case we use factors. Okay, now we discussed issues of your object size, issue of RAM. Okay, so now this consume size, and we should have a lesser amount of size of object. Now if you think of a real-time scenario, yeah. So see, I'll just take you again on this. So if you convert not only array, if you want to convert any data type to any other data type. Okay, so let's discuss the conversion now. Conversion. So if I want to convert, when we use conversion, if I need to convert one data type to another, we use as dot that data type. If I want to convert a vector to array, so I write as dot array. Okay. If I need to convert a array to a vector, then I need to write as dot vector. Okay. If I need to convert array to a data frame, so as dot data frame. Okay, and likewise if I want to convert integer to integer, as dot integer. Okay, and the list goes on. Okay, the list goes on. So you give, let's say we saw array now, as dot array. So we have one object. Let's create it again if you don't have it now. A is an object, and that is a vector. This is a vector. You all agree with me, right? So this is a vector. Now check the class of it. So A. So what it is? Sorry, you get a numeric here. Fine. So it's a vector. You'll get to see it here. You created one vector. It's numeric. Okay. So it's a vector. Now if I want to convert this vector into a array, as not check it what it is, as dot vector, and type A. So it's a vector, it says. Sorry, what I'm doing. Okay, so it gives you output. But if I want to convert this vector into an array, I need to give to check that I need to give is. Okay, is dot vector A. So you get output true. It is actually a vector. Okay, but if I want to convert this vector into an array, what I'll do is I'll simply create another uh, variable b, and I'll write as dot array and give the name of the object. So object is a. Sorry, can you convert it? And now you check what is b. Is it a vector or not? So you'll get false. You'll get false. Agree? And what it is now? Just to reconfirm, as dot array. Is it an array now? You'll get yeah true. Yeah, it's always confusing. Yeah, true. Clear on this? So the question. Okay. So Larry, what we'll do is like post session or in break, I'll address this issue of yours. Okay. I'll just take the system in control and I'll do it. Fine. Perfect. Now quickly, we are getting delayed here. Fine. So let's move on to a factor. Okay. So factor is generally I take little time and make you understand this, because this is something which you will be using a lot, very frequently, in whenever you start your real hands-on things and real-time work. Okay, so you guys are in second year if I'm not wrong, or first year, what it is. You are in first year second semester. Okay, fine. So probably second semester, and just next semester when you start, probably in the month of June or July. So you will start getting uh, you start getting companies coming in and for campusing and all, right? So it's better you start preparing now, at least this technical aspect of it. Okay, because thing is, like, people come in, when they come in for interview, they assume that you guys know basics of R and analytics. Okay, so quickly, let's give 10 minutes to 15 minutes of time and discuss where the implementation part we did. Yesterday we directly started with R, and I did not got an opportunity to discuss the use of it. Okay, and where it is used, which industry it is used. Okay, now we know why what R is. R is a statistical tool. Okay, but the use of it varies. Okay, so you might get there might be a company who is into banking, like HDFC, HSBC. Okay, there might be a company which is in medicine, like Novartis, Cipla. Okay, there might be a company, it can be in telecom, or they might vary in from different industry. Okay, retail, banking, insurance, medicine, pharmacy, okay, everything. So they all come and the tools remain same. Okay, they will not ask for some um, like pharmaceutical version of R or insurance version of R. No, it all remains same. Okay, you have the same tool. The what changes is the data. Okay, so analytics, or you can call it data science, is a subject where you break down the data, okay, and use all your analytical skills, okay, all your skills of aptitude to break the data and drive value out of it. So that is why we call it driving insights from raw data. Okay, so definitely you are not going to get the data and set it with the Excel and start doing all your analytics on that. That days are gone. Okay, that was done 10 years back, 10 years, 12 years back. People used to do analytics on Excel. Okay, but with the verge of time, like as the time passes on, with the digitization, okay, with this digital media, social media, okay, with this population growth, okay, so you have huge data size actually, sorry, okay, and this data size is so huge that it cannot be handled in Excel or normal tools. So you need tools like R. You need tools like R. Sorry, my voice is very low here. So you need something like R, okay, or Python. That is alternate that is coming in like picture now. It's very trending, but yeah. So that is where you use R. So what we do is, let's suppose you have a raw data set and you see there's an import button here. Okay, so you import it from CSV, and if I have a data set, I can show it to you. Now, let's suppose I want to know how many students have enrolled in this course. So I guess I have the data in my desktop. Okay, see registered candidate. So I want to bring that data in my R. This is how it looks like. It's a total raw data, and I uh, can do some changes in the setting, semicolon, okay, a quote, single quote, and I import it. So this is the data. See it is how the structure it is. Okay, because that is not my data is not in Excel CSV format. So now doing and understanding this data is a part of your job. Okay, so I'll try and import some better data so that you can make use some value out of it. I'm not seeing any CSV value. CSV. Wait. One minute. Yeah. So this is a normal CSV data which people use in Excel, but the size is huge. Okay, it's in GB. So now I import this data. Okay, and this is how it looks. Your data looks like this. So what you have age, sex, CP, test, BPS, and cholesterol, everything. Now if it's a medical data, now you use this data to understand CSV. Yeah, CSV is comma separated value. Okay, so it's a type of data set. Okay, so take take example. So if I talk about data set, a type of data that we very frequently use, so you can note this down. Okay, I'll write it here so that it will be helpful for you later on. So types of data set that we generally use. So it will be CSV very frequently. Okay, then we use text. Okay, at times we use At times we use Excel data. Okay, this is it. These are the format very commonly used, but you definitely going down the, like, once you get into real work, you'll get lots and different varieties of data. Okay, so that, yeah, so coming back to our discussion, this is how, this is what the all, this is all the motive is. Okay, you understand the tool, you understand the techniques, how to use it, then you get into real time problems, you get a real time data like this. Okay, and then you try and solve the problem. But okay, that is one part. But in our discussion here, so we have some defined data set that I'll share with you guys. We can exchange the data set. Okay, we have some set of questions, we'll try and solve that question using the data set. Okay, but if you don't have a data set, no worries. R, again, when you install R, by default you get a list of data set. Okay, which gets installed automatically in your system. So how do you see the pre-installed dataset in your system? So just type data quote and enter. Okay, so this you'll get a list of datasets. So these are the name of datasets. All the datasets, it is already there in your system. Now let me check with this air quality. What is this air quality? If I want to check, just copy the name or just take the name off from here. Okay, and try to click it, paste it here and run it. Okay, so this is one way of viewing the data. Get the list. So what it has is, it has ozone, solar hour, wind, temperature, month and day. So this is one way of viewing in a console. But if you don't want to view in the console, you want to see in a tabular format, just write v with a cap, v, view with caps, v, and run it. Okay, you'll get in a different window in a structured format. Okay, now this is one thing. Let me check with other data set if we have any good other data set to show it to you. uh, yeah, let me check with iris 3. So iris is again one data set that comes in default that we can use a lot. Okay, so let me take it to the different window. I'll write view. Make sure guys, view, I'm writing view, v is caps. Okay, r is a case sensitive language. Run this. Yeah, so this is my data set. Let me check another data set. So I wanted to show you some. Let me check US arrest. Okay, how many people got arrested? Yeah, so this is the data set. So you have different states of US. Okay, and how many murder, how many assault, urban probe and rape. So these are the columns you have. Now the feature of R, that the version of R that we are using, that has this feature, a new feature of filter. Okay, so click on filter and you select the value you want, whichever value. So it actually adds the filter and you get to see only that range of values. So it's very good actually. See, like, so in California, this many murder, this many assault and all. So this is how we see the data and understand the data. Now there's another way. What we can do is, basically, you can plot histograms and you can see that as well. Fine. Fine. Now let's move ahead. I guess this is not an issue for you.
So could you please repeat how to see the filters?
Yeah, how to use the filters. Yeah, so there's one concern raised. Okay, like if you click on a drop down, you don't get from CSV option, right? So there's a package that you need to install. I'll name the package or I'll send you a email to everybody. if you don't have it. Generally it comes in. If you don't have it, there's a package, I'm not able to recall the name. Just try this CSV, okay, and install it. See, it will work. Okay, just go to install, type CSV, enter, and install it. Okay, it will come, I guess. Yeah. So the question was, what was the question? Can you please come again?
So how to install CSV?
Yeah, just go to go to install, write CSV here, enter, and install. So it is getting installed here. Okay, and then restart your R, close your R and reopen it, and see, you'll get from CSV option, hopefully. Okay. Okay, you did the same thing, Pooja. Okay, we'll address this CSV thing in the break. Okay, now let me take this question. uh, how to how to use filter function on selected data. Okay, now I'm we generally use codes a lot, okay, to filter thing, but I was trying to tell you the feature of R that came in new. Just click on, see that you have the data set anywhere, like let's say you have the data set here. Okay, now if you want to filter out some, if you want to see the data set in some particular range, okay, so I'll just go click on filter, click here, all. Okay, and then change the range. Changing range will change the data set. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show, and this will be used at times, not always, because we generally we write codes for filtering the data set. Yeah, so see, what one option is, if it is not coming directly, just try and reopen your uh, s- R. Okay, close your R, reopen it. It will work. Okay, if it is not working, I'll search for an option and I'll give you the solution. Yeah. So, oh, 1 minute. Let me find some columns like uh, gender. Okay, there's one column called gender, and there's one some column. Let's say I'll just import one more data set to show that. IS. IS is the data set. Okay, I want to see IRIS. See here. This has four columns. One is sepal length, sepal width, petal width, and species. Okay. Likewise, if you have a demographic data where you have information about people and the demographics, so it will have all the information. Then gender will be one option. Marital status will be one option. Okay. Then likewise, so this gender, it can take only two values. Okay, a maximum three, let's say, into like nowadays you get three options whenever you have a gender. Okay, like, and then you get marital status. Again, marital status, you can be single, married. So all these values, all these column values which has some specific values to take, we generally call it a categorical data, right? So for all categorical data, there's you have values in it. So Satosa, I see every value is getting repeated here. All the values are getting repeated. Then you have versicolor. Okay, likewise you have some virginica, and likewise these are the three categories it has. Fine. Now in again, if you have 10 million rows, 10 millions or 20 millions of rows, just imagine this column is using so much of space. Okay, and same data is getting repeated every time. Satosa and everything, like male every 10 million times, female 10 million times. Okay, but it consumes memory, and our idea is to use less space and convey the same message. That is the reason why factor comes into picture. Okay, just reducing the size. So now you might think like, it's why to take so much of pain. You pull in the data, you see the columns, you identify the categorical variable, and then convert it into a factor. No, that is not the case. R has this capability. It automatically judges the categorical variable and converts that into a factor. So that is a good part. You don't need to convert it explicitly by yourself. Okay, now if I see the any data type. Okay, if I see this data here, sorry. Okay, so here if I see the structure of this data set, so how do we see the structure? str. Okay, now if you want to study what is str, just write question mark and you get all the details here, what is structure. Okay, but now let's see it confinedly. I want to see what is the structure of iris. Okay, it gives me the output. So it gives me the first column is numeric, second column is numeric, third column, fourth column is also numeric, fifth column is a factor. Now what is factor? We saw it. We saw the same value. This is a categorical data. Other values, all the four column is a continuous data. Okay, continuous data can attain any value. Categorical data has some specific thing, like it can be categories. Okay, or if it is not a category, if it is a digit but it is having only integers 5, 6, 7, then it kind of become categorical. Okay, so it identifies here is a factor. Now if it is a factor, it has a labels. Factor comes with a labels. Labels is nothing but a distinct categories. Now the whole idea is, if I have a categories, definitely it assumes 0, 1 something values, and it takes very less space. Now I'll tell you how do we how will I prove this. Okay, so I'll use the same technique. I create a variable called factor. I create a variable called factors. Let's say fct. I'll create. What I'm doing, first I will create a variable without factor, without fact. Okay, what I'll do there is I'll replicate, let's say I'll replicate, right, I love R how many times? Let's say I repeat 10,000 times. I'll not take a printout of it because it will. Okay, so I created this variable. Again I'll run this. I'll check the object size. Okay, it's not a factor, just keep in mind it's normal vector. I have created a normal vector. Just see here, I have created a normal vector, but I have repeated it 10,000 times. Fine. Now I want to see the object size. Object size of without factor. Without factor. How much it is? 8 MB. Right? It's 80 MB. Sorry. 80 MB. Sorry, 80 MB. I'm telling. 80 bytes. 8,000 bytes. That means your 80 KB. The size is 80 KB. I'll just write it here. 80 KB, or let's write 896 to be precise bytes. Now I create the same thing, but I create it with a factor. So if I see this structure of this variable without factor, so I'll find this is not a, it does not have labels. I'll run this. It does not have a label. It is a character. As understood, it is a character. So that is why it represents character from 1 to 1000, and 10,000 times it is getting repeated. Okay. Now I create a vector with the same input. I create 10,000. I run this. Now I see the structure of this factor. Yeah, let me run this. So it is a factor. It specifically says it's a factor and it has three labels. What is the label? I, love, R is the labels. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is the label. 1, 2, 3. So one represents I, 2 represents love, 3 represents R. So automatically it assigns integers to the labels. Okay. Now if I see the object size of fact, what I created. Sorry. Okay, it takes more memory now. It's like it's opposite it's happening, but generally what happens in a real time, okay, you will see half of the size here. Okay, try it in your at your end and just tell me if it is happening the same, because it varies from system to system. Okay, we'll pause for 5 minutes and we'll see. Yeah, so now coming back to our discussion, I check the size of without factor. Object size without factor. Okay, so what is the size? 8,000, 80,000, sorry. And I see object size of with factor, it's 4,000. But they both have the same data. Okay, where the difference is, if you see the structure of without factor, without factor, so you have a character here. Okay, what does that mean? It means each element of a vector is being considered as a separate character. Okay, and it has its own identity. Now once you check the structure of a vector that you created, fct, so it is a factor now, it's no more a character, and each element is nothing but a representation of one. It converts that into a label, so one is one label. Okay, now one means I love R, and it is 10,000 times one is represented. Okay, we use labels now here instead of entire element. Okay, and that is the reason you see decrease in the size. Okay, so this is a small example, very small example. Okay, but if in real time, when you have millions and millions of rows, hundreds of columns, okay, out of which 50 columns are categorical, if R converts automatically that columns into a factor, it reduces the size of the data set from like 30%. Okay, 1 GB of data becomes around 700, some 700 of to 800 MB of data. Okay, this is the benefit of using your factor. Okay, and this is amazing, I'll tell you. See, dummy variable have, so the question is, factor resembles dummy variables in Stata? I'll tell you no, because the purpose of dummy variable is altogether different. It is used in like feeding data set into model. Okay, dummy variable is different, yeah, but at the same time, for creating dummy variable, we use factor. Okay, so am I clear like on dummy variables and factor? Okay, great. Now, okay, great. Yeah, so the user factor is there are two aspect. Okay, again, one is R is very good in handling factors because since it is its own baby, you can say. R factor was developed in R and it was developed for R, so it has this capability of handling a factor very well. Okay, it processes it very fast. Okay, one, and second is the size matters a lot to us. Now if ask R to compute 80,000 bytes, and if I ask R to compute 40,000 bytes, obviously the result which I'll get from 40,000 will be faster. Significance of label is different thing. I'm talking about labels here. Labels means like how many different categories you have. So here we have only one category. Okay, fine. So I guess it's good. Mm, let me open the slides and see what we have. We are done with this. I've shared the slides. Now, yeah. So now we'll start with some uh, other topics. Okay, that is called handling data in R, data manipulation in R. So we'll learn how to handle data and what we can do with the data set and all. Okay, so definitely we'll get into R codes. Okay, I have some codes with you to share. Okay, that is basically I'll just admit any question. Yeah, so creation. So what we have seen quickly, we'll see addition and all we have seen, vector creation we have seen, okay, and assignments operator we have seen, vector operation we have seen. Okay, if you want to browse, so browse URL is a function. Just write browse URL and URL name. Okay, press enter. So this will go to that browser. R will connect to the browser. Let's say I want to browse Facebook from here. Okay, so you just write the code www.facebook.com. Run it. Facebook.com. Let's see if it works. You run it. It goes to Facebook. It opens it in default browser. It will open the Facebook and you'll get to see. So likewise, why we use a lot is we use it because if I want to pull any data from the web, okay, if I want to pull any financial data from the stock exchange website, so we generally crawl like that way. We can connect R with the browser and you will be able to pull the data. No, you cannot save third quadrant, Puja. Okay, now you do all the activities. Your global environment is populated, your console is populated. Okay, but it's your job to make it clean because it this all is consume space. Okay, so rm x x is a variable. Okay, you create a variable x. Okay, let's say you have 2 and 3, and x is created. So rmx will remove x. Okay, see, x is no more there. So now if you search for x, it will give you object not found error. Object is not found. Okay, so rm is used for removing. RMXAB means multiple removing. RM list is equal to ls means it will clear out pura entire console. Okay, then you have nothing. See here, it is empty now. Okay, so this is very frequently used. Now moving ahead. So if I,
So RM,
yeah, come again. See, RM is used for removing a variable. Like I create a variable x. Okay, it's created.
so RM list clears the environment or the console.
It clears the entire environment. It clears this environment. See, if I create multiple objects here, why? Okay, something, okay, it'll give me an error here. Okay, and you run this. Now if you do rmx list, copy it and paste it here, you run this, so it empties your environment. So the existence of x and y is no more. Okay, it is removed from environment, and if it is not there in environment, definitely you will not be able to access it. Object x not found. It does the same thing. You go here and you click on brush, you click on yes. What it does here, it clears the environment. Same thing rm list is equal to ls does. Okay, now when you run the script in on a long term, you have a multiple lines of code, so you're not going to manually come and clear the environment. You write a script to clear it. So this is how we do it. Okay, now in addition to this, there is uh, we yesterday we ended up with the concept of uh, like directories, working directories and local directories. So now what is working directory? Get working directory. Okay, this was the command. So what it used to give us, the present working directory of us. I changed it yesterday and still it is changed. Okay, now in this directory, whatever file I have, how will I access it? So first of all, I see it here. Okay, since this is I have not restarted, once I restart, this files will change because I have changed the directory. Okay, so if I want to see the latest files, so I'll write dir bracket. Okay, it gives me all the files which is there in this directory, my working directory. See here, if I copy this and paste it here, so all these files which I have here, files, not the folders. Okay, I get it here. See, correct? Now if I want to see all, sorry, ls, no, ls will not be applicable here. Correct. So directory will be used to like basically give you all the files in that folders. Yeah, so rmx here, you create a variable x. Okay, it's already created. Let me use this. You create a variable x. Okay, now I want to remove it. rmx, I'll use rm is remove. So the best thing is go search for it. What is rm? Okay, how it is used. So remove objects from a specified environment. Okay, so if I want to remove one object at a time, so I'll use rm object name. Okay, but let's say I have 100 of variables, so I'm not going to write rmx, rmy, rma, rmb. Impossible. Okay, so it is used for removing object from a specified environment. Okay, just read the description, you'll get the entire thing. Okay, then rmx, if I run it, the x which was here visible, it is no more. Okay, now if I have two variables, let's say I have x, then I have y. Okay, I have two variables here on the C here, x and y. Now if I want to remove two variables, I'll just write x comma y. Both are vanished. Okay, but what if I have a hundred of variables? So in that case, I'll have to write rm list. So just understand, list is equal to ls. What it gives is the list of variables you have in your uh, environment. Okay, so if I remove this, so it will remove all the rm, means it will remove all the variables. So it is not, there is nothing. It's very simple. Just think about it, like how to use it. I hope it is clear. So now I have copied the path. I'll just go to my R. So this is my default working directory, which I saw by get working directory. I want to change it. So I'll simply go set working directory in a quote, paste your path. This is the path. Okay. Now, since you all, like maximum crowd will be having a Windows OS, so you might get this set. When you copy the path, you get set working directory. You give a quote. When you paste it, so you might get something like this. Guys, this should be the thing which you are getting. Okay, so first see if it is running or not. Okay, it ran. Now I'll see my working directory. So my working directory is changed now. Okay, now for you guys, what you can do is, if you are getting uh, inverted or like backslash forward slash you are getting, so just go and change it to backslash like this. Okay, or anyone give me a copy a path of any folder and send me in a chat. I'll show you how to solve that issue. Do it. Is anybody sending me the path, any path of a folder document other than documents? Send me the path. I'll show you how to resolve this issue. So what problems Aujanya is having? Let me check. So many problems. Uh, Sir, even after giving array function, the input is not. Okay, we'll look into this. Fine. So I am not getting any path from you guys. So what to do is, yeah, great. Finally, I got it. So in the Neil, if this is this working for you or not? Yeah, it's working for you. Great. So guys, what I'll tell you the way out. Okay, there might be a situation like this, and you might be getting error, undefined path, and something with some error, because I'm annoyed with this error. I remember the error as well. Okay, you and the path is not defined. Something path, the path is not defined. You'll be getting this something. So what you do is, either you change the site, you, if it is forward slash, change it to backward slash. If it is, then it is not getting solved, just make it double slash. This is 100% going to work. Okay, just make it double slash like this, and then check it will work for you. Okay, it is again some, okay, kind of system problem. Okay, but yeah, this is a way out. Okay, you can use this. Now what is this? I'm not understanding. Okay, so now Saujanya, what is your error? uh, Even giving the array function, the output is not being stored in the console. However, it is being displayed in the environment. Fine. So I'll share your screen later at the end of the session and we'll see the error. Okay. Let's move ahead. Okay. And we have seen these things. Fine. We'll come to the slides now and we'll see the topics. Okay. So what I said about data frame is a data frame is a data type inbuilt, and it's inbuilt feature of R. Okay. And the advantage or dependency of data frame is whatever data you import, okay, because you need to have data for working to work in R. Okay, so whatever data you import, that data somehow R tries to convert that into data frame. Okay, whether you import the .csv file, .txt file, but the entire data set, the type of the data set, that gets changed to a data frame. Okay, that is what R tries to do. Why it tries to do is R understand as factor is a best way to work with a categorical variable. You saw. Okay, now working with a data huge data set is easier when it is data frame. Okay, and R tries to do that. And one dependency what you have is all the packages, maximum packages, and probably all machine learning packages. Okay, all algorithms rather, all machine learning algorithms talk about k-mean, logistic, okay, clustering, everything, and other packages, statistical packages. Okay, they are best when the data is in data frame format. Okay, so there are two dependencies. First is the R always tries to convert that data into data frame, and why it tries to do this, there's a relation that because everything, the packages and the algorithms, they understand data frame. Okay, so maximum number of time it will be automatically converted. But if in case it is not happening, okay, the data is not converted or the data is not there in the data frame format, so there is a way out. You just, as we have seen, as dot data frame, okay, and give that data set name. It will convert that into a data frame. Okay, now let me show you one thing. Data frame. Yeah. Okay, so if I want to check if X is a data frame or not, so it will get the same output, yes or no output. 2 3 4. Okay, now if I want to check as your data frame X is, sorry, X, so it false. No, it's not a data frame. Okay, now what is data frame? So data frame is nothing but a column and row and column representation of the data. So what is row and column representation? So you must have seen any Excel sheet, right? So all the Excel sheet is in column and rows format. You have rows and you have columns. So similarly, data frame also has rows and columns. If I open any data set, let's say I open this marketing data set. So what it is, it has rows. Let's say it has this many rows, 2000 rows, and it has around how many, 9 columns. Okay, so this is a tabular representation. What is tabular representation? Tabular representation is nothing but a representation of a data in a rows and column format. Okay, so same is the data frame. Okay, data frame is a tabular representation or representation in the rows and column format of a data. Okay, so now you might ask me this question: if I'm importing CSV file which is already I can see in tabular format, why R is doing the extra job of converting tabular data into a tabular data? Okay, but no, that is not the case. You are not only going to import Tableau data, you are going to import CSV data, text data. So R tries to convert that CSV and text data as well into a Tableau data. Okay, now the advantages of it. Okay, let me import this data set. I've already imported, right? But let me import it again. I import it. Done. Right now, if I've imported it, so you see, view direct marketing is my data name. So I just copy this and paste it here. Okay, so this is my data set. If I want to see this in console, I'll just directly run it. So I'll get the data set here. Okay, now I want to check is dot data frame is dot direct. It says true. Yeah, it is a data frame. So no need to convert it. But it was CSV file, right? What we imported? Just go to the we imported CSV file. It is separated by comma, but R converted that into a data frame. That is what is data frame? It's a tabular representation of data, row and column format. So that is the beauty. Now, what is the advantages? So data advantage of data frame is, like irrespective of what we have discussed, that packages dependency and model, like it how model works on data frame. It's very efficient. This one advantage is from coder perspective, from developer perspective, or data science perspective. Okay, when we work, so we work on a data set. So let's say direct marketing is a data set. So here, this is a data set name. You put dollar, okay, and you see all the columns are automatically getting populated here. Okay, so we can access all the columns very easily, rather than if it is not a data set, data frame, you'll have to type the data set name, column name. It becomes difficult. So let's say I want to see gender. Okay, and I ran it, so I get all the males and females. Right now, let's say someone asked you to please find the what you have. Let me check it. Yeah, please find the average salary of people in the data set. So the job becomes very easy, because all the statistical function you talk about, that R supports everything. Okay, all the statistical function is very easily, like the workaround is very easy when it is a data frame. Okay, mean, statistical function, right? Marketing, I want to find the mean of average salary. Okay, so this is average salary, $56,000. Okay, you want to find max, okay, of max of the salary. Simple, just copy, sorry, not copy, just write max. Okay, direct marketing dollar. What do you find max of salary? So, oh my god, $168,000. Okay, so this is the way, and you will see, going ahead, you will see many things comes in your, like on your way, which will be very easy when you work in data frame. Rather, we'll see some examples, we convert that into a different format. Okay, and then how much coding it needs, right? It becomes very difficult. Now talk about plotting. You need to plot. So plotting also becomes very easy, and rather most of the packages which we'll use in plotting in our session, like ggplot, histograms, pie chart, anything, okay, that supports only data frame. Okay, so why I'm trying emphasizing so much on data frame, the reason is you understand the importance of this types of data frame, types of data types. Okay, so that you can like take it in a way, and just be a little inquisitive and understand, go to the documents of data frame and read it. Okay, what data frame is, what is row, what is column, and how do we handle it, why it is important. Just go through it once. Okay, fine. So now if I talk about plotting, I was talking about plotting hist. Okay, hist, and I write, I want to plot something. I want to plot a histogram of let's say salary only. Okay, or do you have anything else? Yeah, so let me plot salary, and you see there are around people, more than 200 people who is getting an average salary more than $50,000. Okay, and what is the maximum? Like somewhere around 10 people are getting $150,000. Okay, so plotting also becomes very easy, right? You want to plot pie chart, pie of what you want to plot. Let's say I don't know it will be getting plotted or not. The salary only. It became a mess. But yeah, so something I don't understand this. Let me see what are the parameters that pi accepts. It accepts X labels. Okay, so now labels. What is labels here? I'll try and give the labels. That marketing label is your gender. Let's see with gender. No, it does not work. I'll try with location. This might work. No, there's something missing here. I guess the data set is not we cannot plot this in the pie chart. Okay, whatever. So it becomes very easy. Okay, now at there might be a situation where you write direct marketing and dollar, you don't get this option. Okay, automatically. So what is the way out? Keep on pressing tab. Once you press tab, you'll get the option. Okay, so just to like don't you if you get any errors, will be you should have this capability to access it. Like if I want to access any particular element of a data frame, I should know how to access it. Okay, so for that let me create one data frame. So I'm creating one vector. uh, Now I'll tell you, if you see here, mm, yeah, so if I see this is a data frame. Okay, obviously. So if I talk about like this one row, 51, 52, 53, this is all a vector. This can be a vector. So data frame is nothing but a combination of vector, you can say logically, and it is actually it's a combination of vector. That is what I'll try to prove here. Okay, so I'm creating a vector. What is the warning? Let me delete all this thing. Yeah, I'll create a vector. Before that, there's one concept and very important concept. Let's discuss that. Cbind, Cbind, and rbind. We use very frequently. Okay, so cbind stands for column bind. Okay, and rbind stands for row bind. Bind is nothing but binding. Okay, column binding, row binding. Okay, now let's say I have a data frame x, not data frame, I have a vector x, and it has some elements, let's say 5 elements. I have a different vector y. It has a sorry, it has a some other element, let's say 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. These are the two vectors I have. Okay, I created it. Now if I want to join this two vector, I can join this. Okay, now the idea is how I want to join, whether I want to go for a column bind, like I want to join by column, I want to join by row. So that is what C and R bind does. So how do we do? Let's say I create a variable a. where I want them to be joined column wise. So I'll do cbind and x comma y. Just see the output, you'll understand. Okay, I'm not creating a variable. Okay, I just directly output. Okay, they don't have the same number of rows. They have the same number of rows, right? Yeah. So see here, I did row bind. That means this elements and this element they got clubbed row wise. So this is how it looks. Does it make sense? I create another variable just to make it more precise. Okay, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 5 element. Okay, now I do R bind with 3 elements. So instead of 2 rows here, we got 2 rows here, right? We'll get 3 rows. See here. Now it makes sense. Okay, now let's look about what is column bind. Column bind, I'll do X, Y. See here. Instead of this XY, earlier it formed a row. It got arranged in a row format. Now it is getting arranged in a column format. One column, second column. To make it more elaborative, I'll add one more column. I'll run it. So X, Y, Z. So guys, are you clear what is C bind and R bind? Yeah, great. Fine. So now, since we understand what is C bind and R bind, now let's move ahead and understand this topic of data frame creation. Okay. Now I created at date one vector. Okay. The writer at first name, second name, sex, date of birth. Okay. Now what I'll do is I just check what it has. They all are vectors. Okay, because they all have, once we created, we have given C everywhere. Okay, so they are vectors. So what we can do is we can club them. So how we'll club them? Uh, Either we can do it using C bind or we can do C bind and it will, sorry, we can, yeah, so we can do C bind and it will form a data frame. Or what we can do is we can create a data frame using data dot frame. This is again a way. So I'm just trying to explain how data frame is actually created, the core idea. So it is nothing but a combination of vector. Okay, and we can create that. So we give the name of all the vectors. Okay, then okay, I'm given all the name of the vector. Let's say my my data frame. Okay, and run this. Now you'll see combination of vector. It was a combination of vector. Now I'll check this newly created my df. Okay, and it is a it came like this. All the it's nothing but a, uh, each like each vector is getting clubbed. Okay, row wise. See here, row wise. Now check it. Check the type of it. Is dot data frame my df? Is it? Run it. Yeah, it's a vector. It says you that yeah, it's true. That means it's a vector. Okay, am I clear, guys? Great. Repeat. Yeah, fine. So see here, thing is like the whole agenda, like the idea behind this discussion is we have a data frame, something called data frame, and now we need to understand how data frame is created. So The core or the basic cell, the unit cell of data frame is a vector. So data frame is formed by the combination of a vector. Okay, this is a theory. Now to prove it, so what I did is I created 5 vectors: date, night, date, writer, first name. Okay, and I clubbed it. Okay, I clubbed it like this. So how will you club it? So let's take another example. The same thing. I do ZZ. I do R bind. Okay, so what will happen? All the rows, all the vector will be combined row wise. So R bind, just put the all the variables that all the vectors that you have created and bind it row wise. Okay, and run it. So check what you have. You have the same thing. See here, what we had earlier. This is what we had earlier. Okay, but if you do data frame, data dot frame, you'll get the same output what you got. Okay, but it will be in a proper this string thing will not be there. Okay, data dot frame. Fine. So that is it. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll share the thing. I'll share entire codes and uh, slides.